Hello, everybody, and welcome to BVV, the only podcast on the entire interwebs where we talk about Overwatch news and updates. Today,
The only
The
one.
only one.
If he doesn't exist, fuck him. Salty Fish Podcast? Who?
No
that
Plat
exists.
Chat. Plat Chat doesn't
no,
That
exist.
chat doesn't exist. That's a Valorant podcast.
We
We at the BBB are the only podcast that matters.
we are the professional organization.
and not only
We
are
are
we
Overwatch.
we are literally exactly as Master Ian Gamer, our guest, has said. Sorry, I was just thinking about my sexuality there. We are the only ones that offer this service, so please enjoy your time with us today. We are in the company of good old Jazz, myself, Zek, Astro, Nexus Spacey, and of course MIG. So please take a seat and relax, and we're about to talk about some support heroes. Shall we begin?
Oh, let me get the whiskey.
Yes, I actually also have
been
the
pre-gaming? What are you coming late? Got to get drunk beforehand, not during.
Fuck. Okay,
You
yeah,
said-
good point.
Mister, you're talking to an Irish woman.
Yeah, I know, I'm
Always
even
drunk.
more disappointed because of that.
The permanent state of drunk, but you need to get more drunk when you're talking about supports
Just
in
drunk
any
on
state
life.
of Overwatch.
Yeah, so here we go. It's been pretty dark. Support
Well, they
players have
went
had. What do you mean?
The devs went dark. They kind of didn't. Well, okay. No, they have given us some data, but not on things that we were talking about wanting to see data on.
Right.
We want to see support changes. That's what we want, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
want them to rework Brig and make her not be the best and also the worst at the same time.
Let's be honest. This is less talking about supports are like a feature to the Brig cup. This is the
it's
Brig
true, yes.
episode.
Welcome to the Brig podcast.
Undercover.
Yes.
Do you know like?
Welcome to
Do you know the?
Rework Brig
Do you know this-
Anonymous.
Do you know the Brig, the Scooby Doo like villains at the end of the episode, like unmasked?
Yes.
Yes, precisely.
We want
is
to
it.
talk about support changes on Mask. Just rework Brig.
Yes. So, here we go. First things first. We need to go over the elephant in the room, which is the fact that Overwatch 1 still exists for some reason.
And they took down the beta.
Yes.
Like, why did they take it down?
Well,
They could have left it up. They just couldn't have. They could have not changed it and kept it up, unless it took up valuable server space. But I'm sure the Overwatch 1 servers can be taken over. No one's playing on those anyways.
Kaka.
Oh
yeah.
boy, I can only imagine poor Ian, because you're like properly like you have to play this game. So how's that switch been for you, mate?
I've been 90% playing deathmatch since I went back to Overwatch 1, so
Fair enough.
that's
Fair
how I've
enough.
been coping.
I tried playing,
Copy.
and just every time I'm like, oh, I got flash fanned. Smile.
Smile through the pain, man. Smile through the pain. At least you guys know what me and Zeke was going through the entire time.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
guys are like, oh wow, that looks so good. Can't wait to play it.
Can't wait to play
It's
it
very
in July when the beta comes out for us, right? But like, oh wait, hold on a second. Unless, of course, Microsoft-
Fucking October.
right. Unless, of course, Microsoft hits like the release it now button, and it's not going to get an October release because that month belongs to Modern Warfare 2 2022 version. So we can certainly expect it to either be another year until we see anything, or it'll just randomly drop in September.
What, the full game?
Yeah. Well, not with
Mm.
not with the single player. No, forget about the single player. We're not going to see that. We're not going to see that until I get married, probably. So that's going to be another
I
half
think
decade.
it's more likely we don't see the entire game, not even the PvP release, until the PvE is ready. Like we're just going to be in permanent beta limbo.
No.
until the game's
That
ready.
that can't be the case though, because that was Jeff Kaplan's idea of how to do game design, and he's no longer in control.
Yeah, they said they were gonna like detach PvE and PvP. That's what Aaron said in the dev update.
But will they
Mhm.
release
Yeah,
it,
but that
though?
could have been. Hold on, but he didn't specify if that was for the full game release or just for
Or
the
the beta.
betas.
Oh, you're right. You're fucking right.
That's
Exactly.
he never specified. That's what got me like my anxiety spiked, man. That's the reason why I need the whiskey.
See, Doc,
Alright,
I don't
my
know.
optimistic take is that they're gonna release PvP before PvE because, like, at this point, they're They've already dug their grave. It's a matter of whether they try to climb out or just lie down there at this point.
I mean, isn't
So-
that just admitting though that like everything that we've been waiting for is just DLC then?
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh, oh, the quietness, the moment of silence there for a second. Oh, hurts.
Yeah, it's just, here's your update, boys. Could have dropped it
Pain.
at any point, except we couldn't have actually, because the changes weren't ready. For the most part.
Pain and suffering.
Anyway,
I am
speaking of
glad-
pain and suffering, let's move on.
Yeah, to
supports.
supports, pain and suffering. Well, even though I wasn't really having any pain or suffering while playing support, the broader community seemed to have pain and suffering, especially, just eating glue.
The Overwatch community have become sand farmers and glue eaters.
Yeah, they're just sand farmers and glue eaters on support. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah. I mean, if you're getting farmed by a hero and it's very clear that you're the problem, just try to not be the problem getting farmed anymore.
Wait,
Guys, don't die.
Just don't die,
Simple.
forehead. Just avoid the headshot.
Now here in defense of the DPS mains, support players do have to get good,
Yes.
but also
But not
supports have to get fun.
DPS. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that's the bigger issue.
That's the
That's the
broader
thing.
one. They were like,
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. In Overwatch 1, it's no surprising that like it's nothing new. Being dive bombed, being killed constantly, being tracked. That's nothing. None of that is new. What is new? What is new is like waiting like only a couple of seconds for support queue. Support's coming out and saying like, "Damn, I feel terrible." In this new format, when it's meant to be like the golden rise of like Overwatch 2,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the best look, especially when we have Sojourn, a new DPS, and then several changes to tanks, and then Doomfist as a tank, and then supports. It's kind of like, you got overhealth. Enjoy.
Yeah,
Here's
your
the
category
overall
exists.
mechanic that'll only matter for 3 heroes. Yeah, so
Simultaneously, Brig is still powerful, but also not fun.
let's talk about how after all of the changes, right? They still manage to make Brig the highest win rate support in the game, even though she has only gotten progressively more boring over time.
See, this is when you just like take those healing numbers and you crank them all the way down, and then you see nobody play her, and then you say, now we have an excuse to buff and rework her. Amazing.
Yeah, so they could also not do that and just rework her.
Yeah, specifically repair pack.
Yeah.
Yes, repair pack, and honestly, her inspire I think is like, I don't know what they could do with it because it's already just so simple and effective as is, but like something to make it more interesting and more engaging. I would like basically anything that makes Brig more engaging. I think is imperative at this point. But yeah, repair pack is terrible, and the rest of her kit is terrible, and her barrier is the only interesting thing she still has.
She feels terrible to play. Barely feels like she's doing anything. She has very little interaction with most things in the game. She kind of stays in the back, but also in the front. And like, the proper way to counter her is to make her not play Overwatch. Is just by let her not hit anything.
Yeah.
And yet, she still has the highest win rate.
It's because of all of the AoE healing that she does, just automatically.
With AoE healing and the highest targeted healing in the game.
Yeah.
At
It just
70
stacks up,
HPS.
man.
It's
It really
so
does.
crazy.
Here's the thing, I'm gonna maybe shoot out like a spicy hot take. Your favorites.
Amazing.
You know the way for years I've been saying that one problem with Mercy, one of the biggest design flaws that she has, is that she has too many things in her kit. And for that, like she has like I think because now there's new super jump and also old super jump at the same
They
time.
both
I think
work.
now she has like 11 abilities overall. 11 abilities, like that's insane.
Of
But
which
anyway,
only 4 show up in the ability preview screen.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That like a lot of her she has a lot of abilities. She has a lot of things that she does, but most of them are passives. most of them she does passively or without much thought, which is why I think there's a lot of debate about like her being fun. So it's less fun and more like she's less engaging. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I'm wondering, is Brig suffering from the exact same thing? Because she does have a very bloated kit as well. And I'm wondering if over time that's the same thing has happened, you know?
I can just
there
interject.
There is a difference with Brig, is that not only have they taken away things from her from the whole start, like they took her stun most recently, they took the armor from the armor pack, you know, the armor ability that gives out armor. they removed the armor, okay?
Yeah, instead of like reducing the healing or something like that.
Removed
to keep
armor
the character fun and
altogether?
interesting. Yeah.
They changed the Inspire duration to be 6 seconds rather than 4, so it's like a quick buff. Now it's just like basically a passive heal whenever you were ever close to Brig. It's it's just very uninteractive most of the time how she plays.
But that's what I was saying, that like that's the reason why I compared the two, because if you look at Mercy's like kind of history, if you look at
points. So in
you
the
remember
ability preview screen, yeah, you know how that little screen, it's F1 on PC. You can see all of your heroes' abilities.
Yeah, it's back on console.
Yeah. So that screen will usually showcase you the least you can do with every hero, right? Like your ultimate,
Correct.
Your shift, your E, your right click, your everything. Yeah, Brig has the most in the game in there. Brig somehow has the highest amount of abilities.
Yeah, and if I might just interject, just going off of what Jazz said, Mercy has 8 abilities. She has Regen, Angelic Descent, Heal, Boost, Blaster, Guardian Angel, Res, and Valk.
Jesus.
Although
she technically has 11 if you count all the kind of like Guardian Angel moves.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
And
No,
also you consider like her beams different as well, which I personally do, because they're so drastically different, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much.
We could have like a whole like half episode on Mercy though. So.
Well, SVB did an entire episode on Mercy. You can check that one out.
Yeah.
Underneath the other disguise of this is the Brig episode, this is the Mercy episode.
Zach, we're going back to our fucking roots. Here we go.
Oh my.
Talk about some specific changes to supports that they did. I think bringing up the new super jump is one that we should definitely talk about. Seeing how we're not all support players here, unlike in the SVB podcast where he brought on 4 support players and they were like, yeah, it's really good. It's also really toxic to play against, and I love that. And it's like, good job, SVB. Bring on unbiased people. Smile.
I mean, to be fair,
100%.
To be fair, the reason why we can have 5 people without it being crazy is because I got nothing to say. I sit here and listen, and I get to giggle apparently, occasionally. So
you get to recap every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's also important.
And I have passionate monologues.
Yes,
That's
you do.
what happens.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But
the new super jump.
New super jump. It's certainly a thing that exists.
It certainly is. So, Ian and Astro are gonna have to come in here as well. Playing with it myself as a support player, I was like, wow, this is really clunky, but getting used to it is also really fun. Like, it gives you so many options, but together with the old super jump, being able to instantly at 30 meters a second, faster than any character or projectile goes, like, be able to shoot up to the skybox a good 33 meters is really broken.
You think?
Yeah. It is definitely broken, and being able to do that at any point in GA is more broken.
Especially for ability that lasts like what, 2-3 seconds?
It has a 2-second cooldown. It doesn't matter how long it lasts. It's a crazy one. So, Ian and Astro, how do you feel about playing against the new Guardian Angel changes?
Yeah, it's annoying, but like I think it's sort of supposed to be annoying. Specifically, it just feels to me like it just further enforces that you need decent hit scan to deal with her with that change. in the same way you'd have to deal with like a Pharah. Like you need a good soldier or widow who can just pop her when she flies up like that. Because like if you're playing like any tank hero, like if you're playing like Diva or Wrecking Ball, she's just going to spend so much time high up in the air. There's really not much you can do about her, which is sort of annoying. But
you're going to have to specifically switch to kill Mercy now, which is that a good idea?
I mean, I will point out that I think, like, obviously if you're in GM, you're probably going to have very good hit scans on your team, right?
No.
But
Ness can confirm. The answer is no.
The answer is no.
Okay.
The enemy team has a good hit scan. You don't. You have a looser
All right.
trick.
we can agree on that general rule.
They're supposed
that, like,
to be good.
Obviously, they're supposed to be good, but like Mercy, at her core, is meant to be for beginners. She's meant to be played at lower levels as you can.
Careful now.
Am I wrong though? Am I wrong? No one
not
can say
legally allowed to say yes or no to that question.
She was designed to be a more entry-level character, yeah.
Exactly. And I have always said this, and I don't think it's that controversial. Like, as I said a few episodes ago, I don't think every hero needs to have a high pick rate. I don't think every hero needs to be viable at every single level, you know what I mean? That like some heroes just have a curve that like a skill curve or maybe a rank curve that they have, and Mercy is kind of like a good mid or beginner level, and that's perfectly fine. So her having that unpredictable movement is very useful for people who are in GM and want to play her. However, she's meant to be a beginner hero. If you have people in, say, like, I don't know, silver or gold, right? And they have a Mercy that's like zipping around like a goddamn UFO. What on earth are they going to do?
Yeah, so the thing about GM players can hit her, right? I don't think you can hit a 30 meters per second flying straight up Mercy,
But
no matter how good you are to hit scan.
Have you considered just hit her head?
I have actually. Most Widow players wouldn't wish to like hit their monitors with their mouse, flicking up that hard.
True.
So the verticality to it and how fast she goes upwards is a bit crazy. It is probably fine if it didn't also stack with old super jump, and if the velocity was a bit less. Now she just bounces up so faster than a far rocket jet.
I'm willing to bet that like their long-term plan is that if they stick with this new intentional super jump that anyone can just use, they're probably going to end up removing the original one, just because having both is stupid.
Okay, but here's the thing, right?
I mean, you say that, sir, but the reason why we got the super jump in the first place was because they implemented a bunny jump.
Yeah.
And so who knows what they're going to come up with if they take that thing out?
And again, I've said this before. The Mercy super jump, like the original version, it's kind of just a result of how the physics in the game work. It runs off of the same little quirk that allows Doomfist to do his bounces and stuff like that. So they'd have to. If they wanted to get rid of it entirely, they'd have to do some real, like, artificial finagling.
No, they wouldn't.
They could just apply an effect while she's flying that she can't crouch, and that would just.
She already has
an.
No. Look, there's a reason why it happens. It's because her momentum is stalled at the end of it, incorrectly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
while
basically.
The momentum is stalled incorrectly, and together, combine that with the intentional bunny jumping after a target, like how they added it purposely. That together with the stalled momentum will make her shoot the fuck upwards when she has 0 forwards momentum. So yeah, it's really fun to just shoot right back up. I think the old super jump is very good though. It's all right.
I steal my reward.
However,
maybe this is a controversial take. But I don't see why they implemented super jump properly.
I don't
like
either.
The old super jump was not that difficult to pull off.
No, but I think
janky as hell. That's why
less janky.
Yeah. It was an abomination in the original form.
I think making it a proper function is probably better for the game overall. Like,
Yeah,
you'll find people nowadays in bronze that'll be able to use it, but you know, let's say you're a new player and you're like, oh, I like this Mercy lass. She's pretty fun. And then someone's like, you have to crouch immediately as you shift and then jump at the end. It's like, okay, well, I can learn that, but like, why doesn't the game tell me that?
Yeah, just in terms of like presentation as like a game that like, you know, is made by like a competent company, supposedly. Just having like weird janky mechanics like that end up being so influential to how impactful the hero is. And it's like, yeah, exactly as you said, like a newcomer comes in, it's like, oh, that's cool. They see another Mercy do it. It's like, how do I do that? They look up a video, some convoluted method. They'd be like, oh, I guess I can learn this, but like, why is this so janky? Like, it just looks bad from like the average person's perspective to see mechanics like that and how bizarre they are. So I think that's why it's really good that they've implemented a proper version of it. But
the proper version probably shouldn't be this.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, I feel like the way they could implement this is to be a bit. Yeah?
Oh, you go first. You go first.
Okay.
I
have an idea for how they probably should be implementing it if they really want to go this path. Well, first of all, get rid of the old one then. Second of all, only make it able to super jump when you're at your target. It's really annoying to just see a Mercy. She like tries to fly to a target. Like, she will click shift on a target and then also immediately click control, so she'll shoot up a good 15 meters upwards without having to be close to anyone. It's really unpredictable. It's like really bad to play against, especially as a character without hit scan or in any other category than DPS. The unpredictability of it is really difficult to play against.
And also for tanks, like, I don't know, like, at least before, but probably the number one killers of Mercy have to be other DPS, and now I think with this kind of thing in play, I mean, I've seen some of the crazy effects that you can do with it, like zooming up and then leaping down and then bouncing up. It's pretty cool.
But you can infinitely stay up if you see any target.
Right, which is probably a bit too good, because even Farah can almost not do that.
It's better than Farah rockets.
Yeah.
And it flies faster than Farah rocket, and it also shoots up faster than Farah rocket, which is on a 6-second cooldown with a resource system.
If you are flying better than the flying character and Echo the other flying character, that's a bit of a problem, ain't it? Yeah. And you're not meant to be a holy flying character. You're kind of meant to be like kinda a gliding character. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
She's meant to be a glide. If
like,
that's
they can
a bit
probably
of a problem.
make her a flying character, but at least adjust her to be able to do that then. Like,
if you give her a rework, wink wink, nudge nudge.
Another one. Let's go.
Let's go.
They probably shouldn't rework her again. That's a bit much. But they could probably get rid of some. Yeah, they could probably get rid of things with Mercy.
I'm sorry. If they created this mess, they can fix it. It's exactly like with Brig.
They have to fix it, but they're not going to. They're just gonna up her healing numbers and then remove abilities, just like Brig.
True. That's the Actually, this moves on to like.
Dude.
That moves on to like a very good question that I have for you guys. Do you guys think the Overwatch team will be able to fix the problem with supports, i.e., they're not really that fun, in the eyes of the general public, anyway?
I think they can. They made
kind of like what they did with tanks, you know? Do you think they'll be able to do that before the official release, or even just beta 2? Or
that's a good question.
I think beta 2 will focus a lot more on supports, actually, or like finer balance tuning or like fun tuning.
Well, I certainly hope so, because as it currently stands, I'm telling you that I'm going to be a tank one trick.
Oh, me too, absolutely.
Yeah, and me.
Like, so playing the Overwatch 2 beta, it was really interesting. I think I said this on the last podcast we did, but like, playing all the roles, playing the beta in general so much, I reached a point where it's like, I don't really want to play support or damage anymore. I just kind of want to play tank. Like, I queue into tank, and it's like, alright, I got all these choices that like I actually want to play. And then I queue into damage, and it's like, oh, there's Bastion. I guess I could play a bit more Sojourn. Junkrat's fun, but I'd go into support, and it's like, I really don't enjoy playing half these heroes, and the other half, I've already played a bunch in the beta. It's like, Like the tank role specifically, that was the one that really called to me. And there's a whole issue I have with that in terms of like 5v5, one tank, everybody wants to play tank. Yeah, we'll see how the queue times pan out on that front, but...
Or just like playing with friends.
Yeah, that too. It's like, I like playing with you guys, but if we're all going to be fighting over tank, like, might as well just get in a call and all queue separately. Just so we can actually have fun.
I think the way they designed tank though is a good one though.
Oh yeah, I think it's both an indication of like the troubles they're having with the supports, but at the same time, it's also like indicative of how well they're doing with the tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they have done so well with the tanks, Jazz, as you mentioned, like I think the damage or the dev team definitely could make the supports good. I think the question is whether or not they will. Like,
yeah, that's kind of where I'm
see more interesting designs for characters, but will we see? Like, I don't know.
That's kind of where I am at as well, because it's very much like, how do I say this? I've always said that Overwatch has the potential to be anything they want. Like, a lot of the problems can be solved, but it's just whether or not the devs actually want to put in that time and effort, and that has always been the issue. And it's always been like, true, Brig is a huge problem. I think Mercy is a huge problem. I think some of the heroes in the support category, as of right now, probably need to be reworked, or at least semi-reworked. Do you know those really small reworks where you kind of think about
ability, redo it, and
then
think
like Hanzo rework.
Yeah.
Do you know that one? Yeah, something like that, like something small. But some of those heroes need to be done, and supports need to be added. Like, full stop. No, we can't have this anymore. We can't like play the same 6 heroes again and again and again for like 2 years straight. No, you need to change it.
Don't you know they have multiple new tanks and support heroes in development?
Multiple, as in
multiple new tank support heroes in development.
This has been a known fact since 2016.
We're going to keep releasing damage heroes, but guys, we have multiple new tanks and support heroes in development.
Smile.
Stop.
Black Pill Ian coming here with his depression talk. Oh my god.
I'm going to give us all hope, though, and that is that with tanks, they were like, okay, let's, instead of making everything balanced and good, let's make them fun first and then think of how good or bad they are.
Yeah.
One thing I found very telling is that Orisa is probably the worst tank of the like newer tanks right now, right?
What do you mean?
It's like she has seen exactly 0 play in Overwatch League.
Right. Well,
however,
no, I'd say that you can't really use Overwatch League.
No, but like at pro level, she is the worst tank. However, she is also by far, in my opinion at least, the most fun tank. Like even the worst tank in the tank category is still really fun, right?
Right.
Or am I wrong?
Yeah, I can vibe with this. No, you're correct. Yeah. Orisa, Doomfist looks amazing. I'm sure he's a lot of fun to play. All the tanks have like more life in them. Reinhardt, the people who like him seem to have been enjoying him quite a bit, even if he has quite a disadvantage at Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I've been enjoying Sigma.
So,
right,
like one thing I don't enjoy about support right now, even though I do really like support, is that for a support hero to be good, it doesn't like fun and like good don't mean the same thing, and this is why Brig is not fun. She has always been good, but she's never really been that fun. There's a difference, Blizzard. Like, I know having a high win rate really gets that dopamine spike, but yeah, I kind of want to. Yeah, when I select a hero, I want to have fun on them, and that is very telling. The tank category does a great job. I think I've played every tank and have had fun on all of them. I have played most damage characters, and I was like, I'm having a decent time. But on support, it's like, if I'm not playing Lucio or Ana, you know what? I think I'm going to queue damage.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically how I am in a sense, except with, like, the tanks where it's like, if I'm not going to get these like few number of supports or damage heroes I like, I'd rather just play tank. Like, it really is like an options issue, I think.
Yeah. I think it comes down to, like, for me anyway, again, I couldn't play the beta, but everything that I saw was just basically the same shit, but even worse, because you have the same problems as supports in Overwatch 1 translated to Overwatch 2, which is a completely different medium practically. You know, that's a new game. Same old problems, new game, you know. And I think that's the reason why it comes across as very like, okay, Blizzard, why do you hate supports? Like, why do you hate them? Even though it really isn't, but it's just a case of, like, I that's how it kind of feels, because of the lack of content, because of the lack of changes, because of seemingly no changes to support teehee joke support the supports in the transition from 6v6 to 5v5. So
you guys remember that forum post, which must have been made like immediately after they announced the new 5v5 format, where they were talking about like their initial tests with 5v5
and how the
so this would have been well, they talked about how, because that was when everyone initially was like, oh no, playing tank is going to suck because you're going to have to tank all that damage yourself. You're going to be like the sole leader of the team. It's going to be so much pressure. Nobody's going to want to play tank.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
Yeah, in that forum post, which, I mean, must be over a year old at this point, they specifically mentioned, like, actually, we're noticing that supports are actually feeling like the weakest role because they have to keep up with all this healing. They don't have as many people protecting them. And it's like all the exact problems which we ultimately ended up seeing in the beta, Blizzard was aware of, like, more than a year beforehand. Or, like, roughly a year beforehand, whenever that forum post was made.
They haven't done all that much to fix it, though.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, so when I saw it happen in the beta, I was like, interesting. This is exactly what they sort of warned us about a year ago, and they haven't done anything to fix it. Like, so maybe they did some things, but like...
The answer to my question is yes.
I really like how BBB is where Ian comes to, like, just vent the vitriol that he has to keep back while he makes actual videos.
He's very spicy on this channel. I don't know what we must be a bad influence on him.
Yeah,
give him the freedom.
Yeah, it must be.
It's our devilish charm. We've corrupted the boy.
This is what happens when you have a multinational podcast.
What?
Goddamn those Europeans.
The demonic nature of just Dutch people and Irish people. Oh God.
I mean, I've already turned him to drink. Look at me.
Oh, how sinful during a podcast of all things.
I know. There could be children watching or listening, or actually, no, children shouldn't be watching or listening to us.
No.
Nah.
Parents,
really.
please twist us off.
However, here's a good thing they did again, right? They were like, okay, supports are struggling, people aren't having fun. Let's try and make one hero extremely, extremely fun.
Oh, I know what's coming up,
and
baby.
The hero they picked was Zenyatta. They gave him gave him the funny kick, and they increased his health. And my God, did they succeed! When they try to make a hero fun, they will make the hero fun. They just haven't tried for all of them yet, and I think they will succeed in the future.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, especially now that they're allowed to kind of dip into a variety of different similar abilities, and there's not that kind of importance on uniqueness. I think that's going to help the game a lot.
Well, they're still all unique, but they can do the same thing, right? In the way in which they do it is different, but like functionally, most of the support cast has a knockback ability, right? Like Brig has her whip, Lucio has his sound wave, Zen has his kick.
It's those three. It's those
Mercy
three.
has her body blocking.
Sure.
But yeah,
And Ana's sleep feels a similar effect, even if it's not a knockback.
It's far worse than any knockback could ever be.
Yeah, it's even worse.
like a lot of the lower healing supports, quote unquote. Brig is not a lower healing support, but
They pretend
the,
she is.
the supports that were supposed to at one point have lower healing have knockback abilities. So yeah, they all have a knockback ability. I think that's good. You know, they were like, okay, this is one universal thing that they probably all need to be valuable, and also the way in which they do it is different. Like Brig has this powerful fucking hits you in the head with a fucking flail. That's funny.
Ink.
Zen just fucking kicks you a good 20 meters. He's so powerful, he just kicks you away.
It's a get off my lawn button.
Actual JoJo character. Lucio, he just turns the sound up so hard you're gonna go deaf if you stand any closer. You'd rather fall in that pit than go deaf. So yeah, all of them do it in much different ways, in much different ranges, in much different stats. I think that's cool. The way they did that, really good. They gave all of them a unique ability, even though in gameplay it's just, you know, a knockback ability, range, hitbox. Yeah, they made all of them feel unique, gave them different uses and applications, and they all work well within the kits of the heroes.
I mean, Overwatch has never struggled with making characters unique. I just think it's more of a case of like coming up with support characters at all. Like, I think that's kind of the.
It can be difficult.
That's the thing. It's like there's nothing wrong with the supports that we have. It's just more like when you go. Well, okay, with the caveat of like everything that we've explained, but like kit wise, if you look at it very very coldly, you just look at the kits. They make sense. I don't think there's anything wrong with them, but when you're thinking, like, how do I explain this? It gets kind of ridiculous if you're going like 4 years without having a new support, and there's only like 7 of them. I want to say.
Yep.
6 or 7.
7.
There could have been 9, but like they reworked. I think every character, like Echo, Sombra, and Symmetra, are all DPS heroes that were at one point in development
Supports.
or
yes.
at one point even in the game supports.
Yes.
And every time they were released, except for with Sombra, they were like, "Yep, cock. This should have been a support."
But people aren't going to play it if it's a support hero. Let's shift it into the DPS category.
No, this one's a bit toxic as a support hero. We should make it a damage character. That's the argument they had for Sombra. The design was a bit too toxic for a support character. And I was like, yeah, it probably is, if you kept it like that. Because the health pack mechanic was initially still a leftover from her support design.
Makes sense.
I just don't know how that interesting that would be as like a support, though. You know, especially like
that was part of her healing, not most of it, but part of it.
Oh,
yeah. The other
okay.
aspect that would have made the original support Sombra support was that when she hacked people, it didn't silence their abilities, but it limited the amount of damage they dealt.
It
and I think how much
damage
healing
dealt.
they received. Maybe I mixed that with something else. But yeah, it's definitely the damage dealt was reduced. So it was almost as if you were healing your team because the enemy was dealing less damage in a weird roundabout sort of way.
Yeah,
was this kind of like in the era of Blizzard when they were like support heroes actually support rather than just being heal bots as they are right now?
Yeah, but they should probably go back to being supports, as it has been shown. The best support heroes right now either support their team a lot or have an ability that can support their team so well that it can be fine on the 15-second cooldown. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Sleep Dart is really good. Honest Kid is incredible. She can deny healing, has a Sleep Dart, ranged healing, reasonably high healing, good damage, can duel people, has the only CC outside of the tank category, and it's a 5-second CC if left unchecked.
Now you see, this is why I don't like Ana. But
yeah, do you guys ever get the feeling that Ana is a hero that the devs kind of want to nerf because she's so powerful in her own way, but are like scared to properly nerf her because then nobody would play support? Sometimes I get that sort of vibe.
I get the vibe that they, with Ana, don't want to nerf her for the most part. One, because damage players then can't play support. Smiley
Yeah,
face.
exactly.
And she is so ungodly popular. Even when she is terrible, she will still have the highest pick rate overall.
I mean, yeah, she's
True,
a
she is.
fun hero across the board. Like, people love her, and I totally
People
understand why. So,
people
like,
really
why
love
would
her.
you nerf the thing that everybody loves? Like, why would
don't
you
think-
break
if
your
you-
cash cow, essentially?
If you want to think about it, Ana is essentially the Genji of supports.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
not
You know?
even. Like, Genji players are annoying. Like, Ana players, they're just kind of there.
Ana players are also annoying.
Trust me,
I'm
Ana
gonna
players
go
are
with that
annoying.
on this one. Yep. They're pretty
I know,
annoying.
yeah, actually, I regret my statement. If they are British, it is more annoying.
Leap dart teabag is all I'm gonna say.
So toxic.
I never found Ana's that toxic. Though every Ana that has been toxic has yelled slurs at me and it clearly been from the British Isles.
I was literally about to say, like, Ana mains typically on average say more slurs. In my favorite.
Does Blizzard have stats for that? Slurs.
You know they've got a
per hero
spreadsheet
pick.
somewhere that's like
Oh,
every
yeah.
score
Trust me,
every player
and
has ever said.
and I'm a woman. You better bet. I know what they whip out.
I'm sure.
Yay! It's just so fun. Sometimes I laugh because it's so painful. Anyway,
One hero I think they should also touch up, and they tried, didn't really succeed, is Baptiste, whose entire kit just doesn't work in Overwatch 2. He's supposed to be a multi-targeted healer. Okay, well, just throw that one out the window. Succeeds in healing his entire team when they are close together. It's like, okay, only if they are close together. Okay. And his one ability is also only good when there's multiple people together in a small radius.
yeah, he's not having a good time, is he?
No, he's really bad.
Maybe like his ult gets a pass because you can be a little bit far away from it, but you still have to be all in that line, right?
Yeah.
In
His
fairness-
ult is probably the best thing about him now, but
In fairness, I kind of hesitate to suggest huge changes like making Baptiste a little more free and stuff like that. You know, if Baptiste were get a rework, he would have to be less put together. No, how do I say this? He would have to be his playstyle will be less focused on people clumping together, which was fine for the now. But the thing is, we don't know who's coming down the pipeline. Hint, hint. Probably Junker Queen. Hint, hint. You know,
Yeah, I guess.
I
who
have seen-
might
yeah.
who might need
strategies
that kind of
put
like clumping up together playstyle to function. You know, so just
I
throwing
will,
it out
however-
there.
I will, however, say that he does require a lot more teamwork to get to work, and we don't really have that in a quick play only format.
Right.
I have actually seen him get play in the Overwatch League, however, it is only on one team and they haven't won a game yet.
I think I
the
know which
London
one you're
Fire.
talking about.
The London Spitfire.
Yeah.
And they are only playing Rush, and it's the only team playing Reinhardt and Baptiste.
And they make it work, or no?
No.
No, they don't. It looks fun. It looks cool, but no, it's not like a Chengdu situation where like not only does it look cool, but they make it work. It's just sort of like it's just kind of. I mean,
They're Rush Chengdu, and that's probably worse.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
they're like Chengdu, but not cool.
They were like if Chengdu had zero drip.
Oh boy,
Fucking
yeah, pretty
Sigma
much.
style zero drip.
You know, don't remind me.
Yeah. But like they can add so much to support. But they have to look at every hero individually to make them more interesting. They looked at Zen, they were like, how do we make this fun? Give him One Punch Man. And the crowd went wild. So I wonder, when will they just add a glue button to Moira?
The glue
Where she just
button.
dispenses glue onto the floor rather than eating it.
I do love the irony of that because like Moira is easily like one of the most brilliant characters in the game, like lore wise, but like, you know,
her player base is usually just presses 2 buttons,
It's
sits back, relax.
yeah, her entire player base is like Tesla or glue eaters. There's no in between.
It's I wish the big brain experimental person had a kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope they're gonna. They said they were like, oh yeah, we might actually want to give Moira some cool things, and I could not be more glad. However, please keep the character dumb as shit. I really do love that though.
Yeah, it is.
The fact that she is so big brain yet is also the dumbest character in the game.
Well, that's what I mean. She's either played by people like Tesla or by
Tesla and Nolan or the average glue eater.
Yeah.
I love how you guys like fully was like, Jasmine, you better be careful calling Mercy a fucking beginner hero, and you guys are here.
Calling Moira players glue eaters.
Like, I'm just saying.
However,
I'm noticing things. I'm noticing rules.
When was the last time you saw a Moira player try to cancel someone on Twitter?
Moira players know that their character is really dumb. They love her for it. Mercy players think their character is the coolest thing in the world and the only thing they can play.
I mean,
Moira players will know that's the only thing they can play, and they're like,
they embrace
wouldn't it
it.
be cool if she could do more?
Yeah, I mean, it's think about it like this. It's like the situation of someone who only plays Genji versus someone who like only plays, I don't know, Torbjorn, right? It's like people who only play Genji, they're just annoying as shit about it, right? The people who like only play Torbjorn, generally the people who only play Torbjorn are just kind of like, they're just there for chill and vibes and,
Yeah.
The nut.
I think that's a very good comparison.
In the nut, so,
Yeah, they know their character is bad and they're fine with it.
Yeah.
And, the Moira community hasn't been fine with the fact that their character is bad, probably because, the broader support community would like to have more than 2 heroes playable at once. But, like, yeah. They're like, yeah, the character's bad, the character's kind of dumb, and not super skillful. But you can be.
Yeah, I mean, she's a character that you absolutely can be skillful on.
Like, if any of you have seen Twitter clips of Nolan, who's a very high up player on Moira, please just give them a look. You'll surprise yourself at how often he will just clip through the floor on Moira in previous patches, only for he's playing catch up with the devs.
What do you mean?
Like, he will find a new tech for Moira clipping through the floor, and the devs are like, oh, not again. And then they shadow patch it in the next patch, and then he will find a way to like bug one of the new emotes, and the devs are like, God damn it, can't add anything to this character without him bugging it.
Yeah,
he found a way to make the new scare emote where she turns around and then fades scares someone, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he found a way for that to teleport him to high ground.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Oh, please insert this somewhere. Like, I'm very interested in seeing this.
Oh god. Okay, Ness.
I'll try and help you find it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this is very entertaining to me.
The fact that this guy will just consistently do cool shit on Moira, but also he won't be elitist about it, is very fun. It's like, damn, this is the only character I play. Why am I at rank 1?
I don't know. I've kind of met
shit like that,
I was about to say, like, I've met pretty chill Mercy mains, but like, to be honest,
they're
I generally don't hang around with like people who are annoying. So so you gotta be checkmate there.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I'm very liberal with that block button. If you like vaguely annoy me, I'm like, bye.
Is that why I'm blocked?
Are you blocked? No, you're not.
No, I'm not. At least I don't think so. But
I don't think you are. This would be really embarrassing if you are.
I'm pretty sure I'm not. Don't worry.
And the crazy thing is, like, if you want to get an idea of like exactly how like crazy smart some of these Moira players are, like Tesla is an actual physicist. Like he has an actual degree in physics.
Straight up just Moira.
Yeah, well, okay, that would be biology, but
like, you know, as close as you could get.
yeah, like
Other than literally Diego.
literally Diego.
I
Will someday
love-
be on this podcast.
Yeah, Diego's
Someday.
literally Moira.
There's also just actual Giga Brain players in the Mercy community, of course. Like most high ranked Mercy players will be pretty Giga Brain, right?
Yeah.
But that's like you need an IQ above 140 to even make that character work at that high. It's fucking stupid.
It's I'm trying to think of a character that's sort of like that.
Easy to play or Giga Brain?
Giga Brain, just like no, but I mean like Giga Brain, where you can just do anything, like
Doom? Overwatch 1 Doom?
Previously, like no, I get what you mean, but like Doom,
Like you need
Doom,
massive fucking noggin to even make him work at all.
Doom before all the nerfs, yes, I would agree. Doom after all the nerfs, no.
Well, it's not like you can do anything, but like you need a fucking PhD on how to play Doom to even make him work at any level above Masters.
I appreciate that, Ness. Oh wait, no, I'm not above Masters.
Well below.
Burn!
Hurt yourself harder than I even tried.
Yeah, I know.
You just walked right into that one.
Yeah, I walked. The fucking wily coyote. I just walked right into the
Fucking-
trap.
Right into the fucking wall.
Yeah.
It's just like seems like good take. Bad take. Yeah, it's there's a lot. Tim is another character like that. It's like, how in the hell did you make this work?
Listen, when I play Sim, I just like doing the fucking TP bombing.
Yeah, but like that doesn't work.
No, I know,
right?
but I just find it funny.
But some of them will make it work, and it will be like, why is our backline then? It's like, they did the TP bomb.
That it's
Oh, not again.
yeah, it's just like I don't know. I don't know if it's just because people realized it was bad, but I loved the days when Sim players would just throw the turrets into a TP and just throw it in the back line. I got
Sometimes it got her done.
I got a fucking kick out of that. It was just
And Symmetra will just they should just rework her at this point. It's already lost. Our queen
I
has
think
been lost.
every player I have ever asked has been like, yeah, Symmetra could probably be a support again. And they just wouldn't mind. Her personality, well, not perfect for the support role, right? It's fine. They did it before, they'll do it again.
right.
Yeah, they could just make her a support again. It's like, how hard could it possibly be? Cue the
I
fucking
wonder about that.
fire,
Yeah.
flames, nukes.
Like, how much work would it actually take to shift a hero through roles like that? I mean, they did it with Doomfist on what felt like a whim. So
They did it with Echo.
Yeah.
We
Well,
just
yeah, but that
never
was even
saw it.
before development. Like Doomfist, like it probably wasn't just this, but if I recall the events during one of the Reddit Q&As, somebody just said like, "Oh, what if you made Doomfist a tank?" Like a random person, and then Jeff was like, "Huh, that's an interesting idea. Like maybe we'll try something with that." And then, oh, he's a tank now. And like they probably had that sort of in mind preemptively, but I like the idea that like a random person suggested it, and Jeff Goodman was just like, "That sounds cool, I'll do it." And now he's just a tank. Like, you know,
That's
like
interesting.
rando
That's-
just
that's
suggest
the-
something,
that's the
it'll
catch.
just
We need
monumentally
Doomfist as a
change
tank.
the game.
But they actually tried
That is-
Doom as a tank, like in development.
He was originally a tank.
Yes, he was originally.
They
gonna
have
be a
footage
tank.
for this. Like it's publicly available footage that of Doomfist being a tank, like shooting weird pebbles from a far rocket that's supposed to be his hand.
Yes, I mean he Accretion originally was going to be a Doomfist ability.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But the way they did it now, it's like, oh, that's brilliant. They did it again.
Isn't it wild how Sigma's kit has like been a part of like 3 different heroes at this stage?
I mean, granted, I think everything about Sigma is brilliant because they he's literally like a broken character in every sense of the word.
Oh yeah, he's abilities that were never even supposed to happen for him. His character was never supposed to exist, and yet,
and he's actually like his whole thing is that he's fractured.
He's mentally fractured,
and his name is Sigma, which means sum of the whole, which means sum of the parts. Yeah, like the sum of the parts.
No, I love this deviation from like support stuff.
We can have. I could have an entire fucking episode of me gushing about Sigma, but we're not going to do that now.
You've had your time. Oh, actually, speaking of tanks, what do we kind of think about like the small hints we've gotten towards Junker Queen?
I mean, that's actually a fun topic. So I assume you guys have all seen the leak that shows like her abilities.
Zek translated it. Remember that? Zek translated it. Remember that?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You were the one that translated that?
Not initially, but for you people, yes, in the chat.
Wait, I don't know if I saw your, because I'm just familiar with like the Reddit post made by Stuck in Orbit and some of the people they've worked with.
Well, yeah, because Zek's first language is French, so I just when you posted the video and you were, I remember you going through it, and I was like, I don't know the exact translation for this. I literally just handed it to Zek, and it was like, okay, here you go. And then
yes, I remember just thinking like, wow, these abilities are so weird and like DPS-y. And now after seeing Overwatch 2, they make perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are your guys, what's the consensus among you all in terms of whether it's real or not?
Oh, I think it's real.
Honestly, I was on the edge. I was like, I don't think this is kind of real until I saw your video kind of like matching up the face. And I was like, oh, that's actually quite, that's pretty damning. Because like the UI is the same. They have a full model there. It's different from the one that usually is, you know that one, you know the one I'm talking about, where she had you know the one I'm talking about, the fan made one. Which don't get me wrong, it's beautiful, but it's a lot of effort and weird coincidences for that to be
yeah, and the way it
lines
lines up with like the practice range with like the colors you can see in the background,
small details that didn't really want to like need to be there, like the small scar on the lip. The fact that it was clearly taken in specifically the Overwatch 2 practice range, and very visibly so. One thing that didn't line up is just how close the character's face is to the screen. But that could just also be the model being weird in testing, you know?
I mean, honestly, the smallest details are usually what, indicates if a leak is real.
100%.
Yeah.
It's always the uninteresting little things that are like actually telling of whether something's real or not.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason why, just going off of the abilities, that I was thinking like, this kind of, I'm not sure about this, is simply because it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on.
Well,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, if I remember correctly, Ian, there was nothing in that leak that solidly indicated she's a tank. Yeah. So
the kit very clearly is tank. It couldn't be any other role.
Okay, but like, this is like they've done Stranger Things. Like,
let Astro hope.
Well, no, I'm not.
Because God forbid the DPS need another hero. They just
no.
I think the DPS category really needs a hard CC character that heals themselves and their team around them when they do damage. Also, anti-heals targets.
Well, she doesn't have any stuns. She doesn't have any stuns, does she? As far as I know, she doesn't.
She has a hard CC melee.
Wait, what?
She can hog hook people.
Did I miss this?
Yes, you did.
She has a throwable knife that is part of her melee that she can grab back.
Okay, but that's a grab. That's not a stun. That's like a reverse boot.
It's a hog hook.
But it's not. Yeah, but that's not. That's not a
Hard CC.
It's not no. Hard CC is stun. Like.
No, but like it picks someone up and it literally drags them to you. That's pretty much hard CC. Like they can't move.
Well, from my understanding, the wording is a bit weird on that one. Zach, maybe you would know if you're able to properly translate it. But there seemed to be some sort of confusion over whether it was just like Hog's Hook or if it was more of like an inward boop.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
With Lucio and pulled them slightly towards you, not immediately to you like a hook does.
That was my
There
impression.
seemed to be some confusion there.
I don't have the thing available now, but I can look at it later if you want.
Yeah, I mean, my impression was what Ian said. That it booped the enemy towards you. Overall, though, I just like the idea that she has the fucking Kratos axe.
I interpreted it as like a throwable ability that she could call back and it would drag back anyone that it hit on the way back.
I mean, it's possible that would end up being
like a Thor hammer, basically. Like if Thor hammer hits anything on the way back, it just comes back to Thor as well. That kind of deal.
Huh. I don't know. I got the sense that it was just sort of it was an inward boop, but maybe, I don't know. Either way, what I'm saying is that like what I'm convinced of is that she's not a support. That's all I'm gonna say.
Probably not.
Definitely not. I mean, she has no proper healing.
Yeah.
She just has like a health buff thing.
Yeah.
I think she can actually heal her team, but I don't think that's what's making her a support hero.
I mean, if you go by that logic, Ness, that she could give overhealth, then like,
I think she gives health. Oh no, she gives overhealth.
Yeah, she gives overhealth.
Yeah, she gives overhealth, and there's like the bleed thing where she heals from, but that's presumably just healing herself.
She heals herself, and she can give overhealth, 200 overhealth to herself and teammates.
Yeah.
God, could you imagine a 400 health Lucio? That's so fun.
Oh God, we're going back to the days of. Oh God, remember that when there was Sim
500 health.
Yeah, you could have Sim, Torb, and Brig, and they would.
It was all permanent too.
Sim would give overshields, and then Brig and Torb would give armor. Oh my God.
Those were the days.
Almost nothing is as fun as the Overwatch League Jonak 500 health screenshot.
Well, actually, was Brig out at that point? I don't remember.
She was.
She was? Okay.
Yeah, there's screenshots of Torbs and Sims standing next to it, so I'm assuming that's how.
It's just I just remember that.
So good.
Oh boy.
Do you
Yeah.
have any other thoughts on specific support related things? Like how are the numbers for some of the characters? Should healing be higher or lower?
I think that's a hero by hero thing.
Yeah.
In general,
A general.
I feel like I'd like healing to be lower. I'm not sure if that's a realistic change that could end up going through, and it probably cause more damage than it improves, but in general, it's just not. It doesn't feel good to be shooting someone, and then they're just like negating the damage you're dealing just by, oh, I'm just healing. Like, that just doesn't feel good from the damage dealer's perspective. And I think that's an issue with Overwatch in general. But
being a devil's advocate here, because I love it. Equally for the support, it's probably not fun to watch people die because you genuinely can't do your job because of numbers.
Yeah.
You know?
That is true.
So it's a vice versa thing.
I have a
but
counterpoint.
then it's just damage versus negative damage, and it's like, oh, let's just throw these two bars at each other. Basically, if the anti-heal, if the damage bar is longer than the anti-damage bar, they die. If not, they live. It's like.
Well, that's the problem of Overwatch.
It's so unsatisfying.
My counterpoint to that is that I felt healing was a lot more impactful in Overwatch 2, but it also felt like the high healing numbers were very clearly higher healing.
Mm-hmm.
But also, even low healing numbers, like Lucio existing, Zen giving an orb to someone.
Yeah.
BAP pressing shift in their near facility. It just, like, you'd notice that. That's like, oh, that takes an extra bullet or 5 to kill them. And it's like, okay, well, that makes them significantly harder to duel. Maybe I don't want to take that duel when they're close to Lucio. Maybe I don't want to go in when they're next to the healing character. Maybe I don't want to engage at all against the enemy team that plays Brig and can pack anyone at any point, anytime, anywhere.
But the thing is, and I do want to keep in mind that for Overwatch 2, I saw a lot of like low healing comps. You know what I mean? Which is actually really nice, and they can easily do that flexibly. You know, and I think it breeds a lot of diversity within the meta. And I think if you just take all the supports, lower their healing, I think we just return to Overwatch 1, where it's just the same damn heroes over and over and over again in a very small pool.
What I think they can do is they lower the healing and increase the, like, you could say uniqueness. I'd like to say the kit, just the kit focus. You know, like what can the hero do other than just heal? Let's focus on that a bit more. Like Lucio really functions well when even though he doesn't heal all that much, he can heal like a bit, but he usually doesn't. The speed is good enough. Another character that's sort of like that is Zen. Like, he doesn't provide much healing, but he does shitloads of damage and makes your team do more damage.
I feel like if you start reducing healing, I feel like you set off too much of a domino effect.
Oh, but like, you have to do it in like, you have to very carefully adjust those numbers. Because again, a number change for Mercy, even a 5 health, upwards or downwards, is super noticeable in every interaction against, like, Winston's Tesla cannon, against soldiers shooting at someone. You will notice it being down 5. And it's crazy. So, some heroes will need higher healing numbers. Characters like Moira, characters like Mercy.
Characters
that are short range.
That make sense.
Yeah, like, they make sense that they're high. They're short range. They usually can focus on only one target. And even if they don't, they have, like, diminishing returns, right? Moira has the diminishing return of being just bad. And also that people can't really be clumped up together all that much in Overwatch 2. So that's another one. So when I
have a feeling. I have the strange vibe. I think I'm with, like, do you know the way Ian with Hammond? You know the way he's like a sleeper hit?
Mm-hmm,
I think Moira is going to be that sleeper hit for Overwatch 2. I feel like I have a feeling. I can't even tell you. I can't even explain why. This gut feeling of, like, something is going to happen in the meta and she's going to explode.
Yeah,
in popularity.
Right now,
I could just taste it, you know?
Yeah, because right now I feel like Moira is so far below everyone's radar. Like, I don't see anyone talking about Moira in terms of, like, Overwatch 2 and, like, the things happening with it. So, like, yeah, I could see her just suddenly appearing and being relevant in a way like that.
I did feel she was a bit too strong in the quick play format, personally. I say this playing as her, like, playing against her, I felt it was perfectly fine, but playing as her, I don't think I have left the backline and I still had all golds.
Like, but honestly, what's the problem with that then? Like
no. I haven't left their backline.
Yeah, I know.
And I still had the most healing on the team.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's not a problem for the enemy, like...
maybe. But I feel like
you're just having a good time. What the fuck is the issue?
The enemy team wasn't having a good time against me. That's a different one. But my experience against Moira hasn't been very, traumatic. Then again, I usually duel the Moira myself as Lucio.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm inclined to somewhat trust Jazz on this.
She might be a sleeper pick in, like, every rank except Hot Masters and shit, you know? Like, how she is right now, but just more.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she has been strong though, but just, like, not quite as good as Ana.
Oh god,
also doesn't provide as much as Ana.
Yeah.
So if they gave her even a smidge, just a tiny amount, a droplet of utility, she would probably just be straight broken.
Oh yeah, I
Like
mean,
OP.
I don't know. I think if they
But
just,
maybe that's good.
I think if they were just to, I mean, remember Zach? You remember that experiment we did? Oh God, how long ago?
Yes, that
Where
was ages ago. My God.
where we did
I was so young.
where we did the healing experiment versus the resource.
Yes.
And
So what we did is we basically played with the power of Moira's healing versus her having a crap ton of impotent healing versus a very small amount of extremely potent healing. It was very interesting to see the consequences of that.
And basically, the conclusion we came to was that the way that she was when she first released was probably
Yeah, probably the best.
the best, because it was limited, but it was just enormous amounts of healing. And I don't know. I feel like if they were to do that and then tack on a tiny bit of utility, I think she'd be fine. I think she'd be good.
Be golden.
I think she'd be
She'd
great.
have a unique play style. She'd have unique utility that no other character brings, and a high healing number and possibly a cleanse is what I think they should probably add to her. I mean, she is a sort of doctor.
Yeah, actually, that's the next thing I was gonna ask. What do you think
Experimental
exactly?
doctor.
What thing
Can
exactly?
cure any disease.
What exactly do you think sort of utility they could give her? Because my idea is that they could kind of do what you guys were talking about earlier with what they were originally going to do with Sombra, which is
Lower the damage of other characters.
no, the opposite.
To give her damage boost.
No, God, no. What I
PC
mean,
players will love her.
what I mean is that she can give enemies like a partial anti-heal.
Oh,
So like, say any enemy that's touched by her damage orb, say, takes 20% less healing for like 3 seconds or something like that.
that's very abusable, though.
Oh yeah, it is. But so are like most heroes in this game.
Yeah, like having a cauterize effect in Overwatch is gonna be difficult. It's gonna be really hard to balance that effect. I'm calling it a cauterize effect because that's what the effect is called in Paladins. It's
Oh, okay.
the effect to lower healing.
Okay.
But like, yeah, having that effect will be very tough to balance in Overwatch because the healing numbers are so directly related to how every breakpoint functions. I mean, the only reason why most support characters have a way to burst heal around, like burst heal or throughput heal around like the 50-55 HPS range is so they can keep a character alive against Winston.
Right.
That's literally all. Like, the reason why Mercy can keep someone alive is because it's 55, even though Winston is 60. That's enough to keep them alive for like a good 100 seconds. And yeah, Lucio Amp It Up does a similar thing, but on a long cooldown. Ana, Bap, Brig. You know, the only one that doesn't really have it is Zen, but he can keep them alive long enough against a single Winston. And he can also just clap Winston himself, you know?
Gotta
yeah.
love it. You just your DPS aren't doing it, you do it yourself.
But that's also why anti-heal is so ungodly powerful in Overwatch.
Yes.
It just removes healing breakpoints. Healing is not even a part of the equation anymore. Just kill them.
But that's honestly why I think it's okay that you could have partial anti-heal on one character, because it's not like it's going to stack with the full anti-heal. You can't go below 0.
But how accessible is it? That's really what there is.
I don't know.
And also you have to think that there could easily be a comp with an Ana and a Mora. So that means several people getting a possible, either an anti-heal straight up or a partial anti-heal.
Well, that's true, but you already pretty regularly get these big antis.
But there's also, like, how do you tell the opposing player, oh, you heal less now? That's
How do you
also a
tell
question.
the
It's like, how do you
opposing-
tell them that the character they're healing is not receiving healing?
I mean, usually they have the purple, right? So that they could do something that's like maybe...
Yeah, but then because
Tell
it's
the
a
gold Mercy
partial,
that tried to heal me.
because it's partial, you'll have to distinct that from the full.
Yeah, like why not
How
make
do you-
why not make it pink?
You're pink now.
It's not like fully purple.
You are now an e-girl. They sprout
God.
cat ears.
That's worse than being anti-healer.
I have turned you gay. Now you heal us.
Oh dear.
You are now the gay Overwatch hero.
Oh boy.
I will
Oh,
turn
God.
all of your lore into Soldier 76 lore.
We're all homosexuals now.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What's
And we
another
really are.
What's another character we can maul at for like a good 40 minutes?
Oh god, how long have we actually been going for?
About an hour.
An hour?
Oh damn. Imagine, remember when I said this was yeah, it would be like 40 minutes.
Ian called it.
I knew it would not be that short because it never is.
I said this is going to be like the first one that hits a 3-hour mark. If anything,
It
we'll
is-
do it this will.
Well, we're a
It is
third of the
just
way
such a-
there, and still got plenty to say about Brig. So
Oh,
Oh god.
Oh, you're just revving.
Oh,
You're just revving in
boy.
the background, aren't you?
he's been typing.
Yes.
He's been typing away,
Perhaps
getting,
we
getting
should,
some marks up there.
Indeed. Perhaps we should begin the conversation about Brig before we run out of momentum. Yes.
This is a good
True.
idea. Yeah.
Let's talk about the
She is
character.
she is kind of like the elephant in the room
All right,
that we're
Ian.
just kind of ignoring.
All right, Ian. Just let it rip.
With it.
You're amongst friends.
well, unfortunately, I feel like it's been a bit overhyped how much I have to say about Brig, because I feel like I've actually kind of already said everything.
Oh.
Which is that,
Say it again.
I mean, yeah,
Say it
to sum
again.
it up in a nutshell, she feels horrible to play. She's completely unengaging. There's nothing interesting or fun about actually playing as her. But at the same time, she's really strong, which makes it really frustrating overall. And everything interesting that used to exist in her kit, like the crowd control and the armor, has almost entirely been stripped away to the point where she's just an aura healing husk that just walks around and just gets value. And the only interesting thing she still has is her barrier. But even that's super weak at this point, so she needs a rework, and unfortunately I just don't really know what to rework her to at this point. Something that
Can
was
I
more in the off-tank direction I think would be the best way to handle her, but I don't know.
I feel you, Ian.
Can
I've
I
gone
throw
through
out
this
a
with
question?
multiple heroes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I throw out you a question, Ian? I'm very curious. So, you're coming as a tank player. You're a tank main, mostly, pretty much.
Yes.
So, I'm just curious. Do you dislike Brig because now more than ever she most resembles a support, or do you think from the very kit that there's something wrong?
Both. Certainly on a personal level, I enjoy supports for being supports in their own way. I think Brig is probably a bit of a different scenario there just because she used to be so much more of like a tanky sort of character, and now she's just not that anymore. So it's like, ugh, I really loved what she used to be, and now they just sort of took that all away. But also in general, I think she is just completely underwhelming in terms of what she actually does and like the enjoyment of playing that type of character. Like, yeah, I don't feel like I encounter many people who like specifically love Brig's kit, unless it's something like, oh, haha, I'm gonna boop away the Winston every time he tries to jump. Like, other than like niche things like that, people just like Brig for like the value she brings,
Right.
as opposed to this is a fun hero that's fun to play and is cool and whatnot.
Most of the fun Brig gives to a game is like seeing you win after the game ends.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's the only fun you're having as Brig after the game.
it's the binary dopamine hit that all true competitive people strive for.
Oh, I love that shit. I'll eat it up. Yeah, but Brig has been very problematic for a while, and the devs know that. They know that she is very problematic. They should probably look at her more, right?
Right.
Yeah, they never
They
do.
should, but will they? Who knows?
As a community, I think we've come to the consensus that she should be a tanky character that isn't impossible to kill. Because, like, right now, she's just, like, not quite tanky, but also impossible to kill at the same time.
Like,
At least I feel like she is.
can you
Like,
imagine?
she's very hard to kill, but is also not quite tanky, right?
When you're playing her, you're not like, oh, I'm this tank like
Yeah.
character.
I feel like it sort of depends on the scenario. Like, I feel like when I'm 1v1ing a Brig, like these days, like in the Overwatch 2 beta specifically,
Mhm.
it felt like I could easily 1v1 Brig.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm the same way.
I was
You can-
1v1ing and consistently beating her while playing Zenyatta, and I'm terrible at Zenyatta.
But like in a team,
In a team, yeah, that's the
environment,
other.
It's just like, God, just die, please.
Yes, that's the big difference. She's super strong in that team format, which I guess has always been the case with her. She's good at with a team that actually knows what they're doing and are working together. But like on her own, she just feels like it's like fighting a training bot. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
it
Brig,
is.
I'll just kill her, I guess, because
Yeah.
it's value.
I mean, like,
Part of what makes a character enjoyable to play is also what makes the character potentially enjoyable and unenjoyable to play against.
and oh my
Brig
god,
in Overwatch 1, it's like, God, I don't want to be stunned. Why doesn't she die? Well, at least she doesn't have access to Inspire now. We should probably like try to poke at her until she dies, or like maybe we should do like this thing to like try and get rid of her. Like there was a methodical way of getting rid of a Brig, right?
right?
And there were things you were scared of playing against Brig, and there were things that you had to look out for. Like she was a character that very much warps the game state around her, right? When
Yes.
she's picked. It's like you can't just go into the backline if you are expected to get stunned.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. She also keeps everyone permanently at near full health when she is alive. With her armor packs, if she ever hits anyone with whip or with her melee, she just keeps them up for a while. So you really have to focus her. That's really difficult in a 6v6 game.
I mean, I don't know. Can you imagine like if you reduced her healing a lot, but if she had like the 250 total health and maybe like a 400 HP barrier?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Smile. Blizzard wouldn't. Yeah, but like
Well, she's in the support
She
category, so they
interacted
want
with
her
the
to
game.
just be like a brain dead.
originally she
superhero,
interacted
right?
with the game very differently, right? She wasn't like she is now. However, in Overwatch 2, not only when fighting her was I like, who? I'm just like, oh, free kill, lol. Until she was like immortal. Like she was just either a bullet sponge or dead.
She's always
She
been
was
that
very
way.
unnoticeable on the
Yeah.
enemy team. Like whenever the enemy team had a Brig, you wouldn't notice it. You would maybe lose. Who knows? But you would never notice her.
When was this? Are you talking about?
Overwatch 2.
Oh,
I never noticed. Never noticed Brig.
Yeah, I didn't either. I noticed.
She no longer stuns you. She does nothing. All she does is make her team immortal.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't really have a tangible presence. It's just sort of
No.
there in the background.
There in the background, healing everyone at ungodly numbers, not dying because she has a shield, and you're like, I can't be asked, and then you shoot someone else instead.
Yeah.
That's how Brig functions in Overwatch 2. You're like, you're not worth the kill.
That
'cause
is
you're
how
too
the
much
Brig
effort to
do.
kill. That's how the Brig do.
So.
It's just,
yeah.
I feel like they should probably give her something fun to play with. You know,
like armor.
an overhealth mechanic or slightly higher
mean, the
health
thing is-
numbers.
Regarding like the repair pack and stuff like that, because you guys have mentioned it a couple of times, is that like how would you deal with the lack of like armor no longer being like a health issue, if that makes sense? Like it's either part of your health or it's not, or it's over health.
I mean,
So would you prefer she gives over health now, or would you like a return back to armor, or have you?
Return the monkey, give armor back now.
I mean, I don't think we'll get.
Well, I would have
back.
had it be armor initially. I feel like the consistency needs to be there.
yeah, I feel like
overhealth.
armor's fine. Like the overhealth is fine. It's
The overhealth also has its benefits and downsides. Like armor, applied armor used to give ult charge. So in Brig healing someone and overhealing them, you would have a general ult charge deficit on your team if you had a Brig. Because you wouldn't be healing them as much. They'd have armor that the enemy team could shoot and gain ult charge off of.
right.
But in Overwatch 2, it would be overhealth, where no one gains ult charge. Like, neither team gains ult charge off of that interaction. Which is probably better for the game. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I think just having the overhealth is fine. You don't need the armor, and besides, armor has like that wild, like passive 30% damage resistance thing. So, yeah, overhealth is fine.
I think having it at an overhealth is probably better. It doesn't look as good, especially with the orange effect that she has on everything.
Yeah.
But they can probably change that.
I love how the end one was like, it would be fine, but aesthetically, no.
Aesthetically, doesn't quite work.
Do you know what? I just don't like it aesthetically, and I just think we should trash the entire village.
Just burn it all down. Just pour the gas. It's fine, though.
That's it.
This is fine.
Health is no longer
says
golden.
In burning house.
Don't let Jazz into your
it's
Minecraft
no longer
server.
golden. Just delete the break.
Don't let Jazz into your Minecraft server if your village doesn't pass the aesthetic test.
Oh, it's true.
We would never be able to exist on the same server. It's
absolutely.
You would cry over anything I've ever built.
She'd take a good nether hub away from you.
I'm purely pragmatic with my builds. Aesthetics.
I'm the same.
Oh, honey.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Oh, honey, I can help. I can help. Let me in. I can make it pretty.
I think we have kind of ran out of topics in terms of Overwatch, which is a good one to save for our next episode to talk about different topics, right?
What?
Yes.
What would we?
Well, our next episode was going to be talking about more different things, like what we've been playing in the meantime, in the wait for Overwatch 2 news.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh yes, I would love that.
We won't have anything until the 16th. So sure.
Yeah.
Very well.
But it seems the support question has kind of run dry. For now,
in fairness,
unless we can talk about other characters.
It's pretty much cut and dry, isn't it? Like we're all in kind of an agreement that, like, in many ways, in many different ways, that there's something wrong with the supports, and we really hope that the Blizzard team kind of like pulls its socks together, and they've done it with Zen. Hopefully, they can do it 6 more times.
Yep.
Well, not 6 more times. Lucio was fun, Ana was fun, and now Zen is fun. So just add more to the fun list.
Funverse.
So there's 3 fun characters in the support category, in my opinion.
Well
Mercy
done.
doesn't. So Mercy, just like, she's fun for Mercy players, but like,
I'm
not quite the sadomasochist that would play Mercy.
The character I've played the least is Ana, but like the character I want to play the least is Mercy.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but generally we're just kind of in this blind hope of like, please fix it.
Yeah,
just make it fun. I don't care if it's fixed, if it's good, if it's whatever. No character really needs to be good. Just make them really fun.
I agree with that.
Sim, in Overwatch 2 is poo bad. But I don't think I have laughed as hard as my games I have won on Sim.
Okay, well, I would put one caveat to that. And that is...
Don't make them unplayably bad.
That's what I was going to say. As I can tell you from plenty of personal experience that, like, you're not having fun if the character is that bad. Like, there comes a point where the character is so bad that, like...
Don't make them
you can't have
Torb
fun.
Overwatch 1 bad.
Yeah, you can't make them
Overwatch
Bastion 1. Or Doomfist or Torb, like pre-reworked Torb bad. Like, because then you can't have fun. It doesn't matter. Like,
the character needs to function as like a generic Slate character, but a bit worse, at the very least, but still be really fun to play. Like Junkrat, fun as shit. Probably not very good.
May's good.
Just put on the what are those called? Put on the hairdryer noise and then go zoom in, you know? Reaper.
Reaper's good.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but you can functionally play Reaper as a main tank now.
Yeah, the dirty bubble.
Yeah,
I did see that. That's hilarious.
Double bubble him. He goes in. He doesn't die. He fades out. Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Jazz.
Yeah,
ironically, the sticky nade is more skillful than the flashbang. It's more fun.
Yeah, I mean, Jazzian, have you seen this? What they've been doing in the Overwatch League with Reaper?
I've seen talk of it. I haven't actually watched any like the clips of it or anything.
I suggest watching Frito Your Overwatch on the Reaper one.
Yeah, I saw he put out a video talking about it.
So basically, what they do is you bubble Reaper while he shadow steps, and that's why it's called That's why it's called Dirty Bubble. So he just goes in and just tears shit apart.
I'm not gonna lie, Dirty Bubble sounds like an amazing martini.
Okay, true.
Here tonight we serve the Dirty Bubble.
The fact that the Overwatch League has found a way to make Shadow Step not god-awful is actually incredible.
It's true.
They've done it. They've made it Shadow Step not throw.
That's a fucking
Yay,
miracle.
applause.
Thank you, Blizzard and or the Overwatch League, for making this a viable comp, or a funny comp. Yeah. There's a lot more interactions.
APAC is just going fucking wild with the stupid shit. I love it. They're pulling out the Bob. I get kicked out of that.
Bob is so strong in Overwatch 2, though. It's ridiculous.
But there's just the APAC teams. They're just pulling out Bob. They're just they're playing Ash basically just for Bob. It's really funny. It's like the way I play Ash.
Like everyone does.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone picks Ash for Ash unless they want... Well, actually, no, that's wrong. I've seen some people that really like Ash for Ash. But most people playing Ash are just like, can't wait to summon Bob.
Honestly, like, I've always said, I think the greatest Ash rework ever would just be, make Bob the hero and Ash the ult. And make Ash the ult.
Make Ash a fucking turret. I love that.
Do you know what I'd love? For one April Fool's, that they just switch the two characters out, so they just have like Bob going, Ash, do something, like that way, and then she just comes running out out of nowhere.
He wouldn't say anything. Bob doesn't have any voice line, but he would still do the animation of the point somewhere. Then Ash falls out of the sky, insta-gonks someone, and leaves.
Exactly.
I think it'd be cool if the idea is like you could summon a sniper. Like she could just like
that's basically
this
what
is for
doing.
April Fools.
No, but
April Fools only.
You could just like select a place on a roof for her to just sit.
That's just what playing Mercy is like. You select where your Widow sits, and they never die.
Oh, that's a bit too real. Oh no.
That's just what competitive Mercy play is like. That's what I did. I was like, hey, Skilly, can you move over here so you don't die? It's like, okay. And then he never died, and he got like 15 kills before he ever got countered once.
There was also I don't remember what game it was, but they accidentally nanoed the Bob. And
did it get anything?
Yeah, it did.
Do you know that Scooby-Doo meme that I keep on bringing up? Now we're on the third layer and it's ripping apart. Oh, look at that. It's the Make Bob a Hero episode.
Oh god.
Anyway,
well, I
we
can
better
tell
wrap
that,
it up.
Bob is way more likable than Ash, so
we're really scratching the bottom of the barrel here.
Yes,
so I agree with you, Jazz.
I guess
I'm gonna
say the longest episode.
No,
yeah, it really won't. I gotta go work out anyway, so I think it's good that we've had this here. So have a nice day, everybody. Thanks for watching.
What's your closing quip, Ness? You know what to do.
Fuck. Remember to support your family.
What?
Come on, really?
Okay, well.
Astro, when you're editing, just cut it off where it says
eat
fuck
pizza,
off.
steal people.
What?
What?
No,
you're gonna cut it before that.
Just everybody leave. Just
yeah, no. But Astro, what you should do is when he says
hold on.
remember.
I have a funny ending quip. It's just a Discord.
Okay, fair enough. And there he goes. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao, babes.